Okay, we have both of our fabrics cut. We have our outside print and we have our inside print cut. We have one more thing to cut, and that is called interfacing. Okay, interfacing is a material that is fused. Well, the one I use is fusible. You do have some that are sew in. But I'm talking about for this project, we're going to use a fusible interfacing Pellon 911F. Again, that's Pellon 911F. And if you feel on one side it's bumpy, on the other side it's smooth. On the bumpy side, that's your glue side. So you want to make sure that the back of your fabric is touching that, okay? You can purchase it from Amazon. It'll come on a roll. You can get it by the yard at your local fabric store. But we just need two, and we're gonna iron this on, like a low to medium heat. We're going to iron this onto the back of our outside material, okay? Not the lining, but the outside material, okay? And I normally, when I iron it, I like to iron the fabric side because it's just so thin that sometimes, it'll quickly, start to melt. So I like to iron the fabric side so that I don't run into that problem. So again, we're just going to cut two out in the same shape of our bag. Okay. Okay, let me show you what I'm talking about when I'm saying to, iron on the fabric side. I know some of the instructions will say, iron on the interfacing side. I just find it a little bit easier. So you're going to take your interfacing, and what this doing is this interfacing is giving your fabric some strength, some stability, okay? And this is a lightweight interfacing, so it's not going to be really stiff, but there are others that are much stiffer depending on, how you want your bag to do or what to be, or how your whatever project it is that you're doing. So take your cut interfacing just one at a time and have your glue side up, so you should feel the bumpiness. And then take one of your fabrics, again, taking your outside, fabric. And what you're going to do is place it where the wrong side is going down. So you should be seeing the pretty side, and just line it up, with what you have cut there, okay? And then take your iron, and you're just gonna hold it there a few seconds at a time just to activate that glue. And that's gonna start to adhere to the back of your material, okay? So do that all the way around. Sorry, y'all, I have a fun sweater on. This is my, I don't know what you would call it, but my beat up sweater that I love sewing in. So, all right, do that all the way around. All right, and you can kind of see how beautiful that looks. All right, and once you've done it all the way around, do the same thing to your second piece. All right, everything is cut. We have our interfacing on the back of our exterior material. Now it's time to assemble. All right, so let's take one at a time. We're gonna take our exterior fabric, and we're gonna take one of our lining fabrics, and we're gonna place them right sides together, okay? And just line that up right across the top there. Make sure everything is lined up. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna stitch right across the top. That's it, nothing else. Just stitch right across the top. We're gonna do a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So place you a couple pins in, or binder clips, whatever you wanna use. And we're gonna stitch across. This is gonna come together so quick and easy. Okay, we are going to line this fabric up with the edge of our presser foot here. Lower our presser foot down. Remember, you're going to always reverse in the beginning and at the end of your stitching, okay? We're just going to stitch across, again, a 1/2 inch seam allowance. And then reverse again at the end, okay? Do the same thing with your second set, okay? Okay, we've got both our sets done, okay, which is great. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna press open the seam that we just stitched. All right, and so what you're gonna do is just open up that fabric. This is what it looks like on one side. Doesn't that look good? And you see this seam here, we want to press that open. You can finger press, you know, if you don't have an iron, it's not a big deal. It's not gonna hurt anything. But we're gonna, if you do have an iron, take your iron and you're just gonna press that open. All right, we're gonna now put them together. So have your fabric where one is right side up. Take the other set and you're gonna put it right side down. Now make sure you have the both fabrics are matching and not turn the other way. All right, you're gonna line those up. That looks good. Now, when you start pinning, first make sure that your seams are lined up here, okay? Make sure those are completely lined up. And so you wanna pin there first, okay? Do the same thing with the other side. Make sure those seams are lined up. And then you can pin, okay? Now, we are gonna pin our side here and our other side here, okay? And then the bottom of our exterior fabric, okay? So pin the side here, here, and the bottom of our exterior fabric, okay? Don't pin in these cutouts, okay? We're not gonna sew or pin in those cutout areas. Now, as for your lining, when you pin across here, leave an opening. So leave an opening that's about 4 fingers wide, okay? I'm gonna show you what that looks like. 4 fingers wide, you're gonna leave an opening right there. Again, do your double pins. Okay, so that's what that looks like when you leave that opening. Pin this side, stitch that side. Pin this side, stitch that side. Pin across the bottom of your exterior, stitch that, okay? Here, you're just gonna stitch these little areas here, okay? So remember, don't stitch any of your cutout areas, okay? Everybody got that? All right, let's try it. Okay, everything has been stitched. We have stitched our bottom here of our lining, but remember, we left an opening, if you can see that. We left an opening right here so that we can flip it. We did not stitch our corners. So you see I stopped there and I started again here in order to go, you know, down our sides. Went down this side, we didn't stitch here or here, and then we went across the bottom here and did the same on the other side. So we got all of that. Now you're gonna do something fun. you're going to do and learn what's called box pleats. That ends up squaring off your corners, okay? So that's what we're going to do here on our corners. So we get that boxy look. What you're going to do is take your fabric and you're going to separate it, okay? And kind of pull that apart, all right? And what we're doing is we're matching up. We can open up that bottom seam. We're going to match that bottom seam with our side seam, okay? So open that seam up on the side, okay? We're going to match those two seams up. Do you see that? We're going to match those two seams up right there. All right? See that? Side seam and bottom seam. We're going to match up. We're going to take a pin, put a pin in it, and we're going to stitch right across. That means we're going to move all of this out of the way, and we're just going to stitch across. Again, 1/2 inch. We're going to stitch across. Make sure you go all the way to the ends, okay, so that you don't end up with a little, pleat or a hole, okay? Do that for all 4 sides. Let me do another one for you. So this side, open up that bottom. And again, matching up, open it up and match up those bottom seams. You see that? And we're going to put a pin in it. Again, that's called box pleat. And we're going to just stitch across. Make sure nothing's on the back end, okay? Nothing's on the back end. It's nice and flat, all right? So let's go ahead and stitch across there. Okay, all 4 of our corners have been pinned together for our box pleat. We're going to line up our edge again with the edge of the presser foot, making sure we're right there where that fold begins, okay? And we're going to stitch forward and reverse like we normally do. And we're going to stitch on across. All right, let's do that for all 4 of our corners. Okay. And now what we're going to do is that opening that we left, let's flip it. Oh my goodness. Poke out your little corners here. You can use your stick if you want, or your finger. Look at that. Look at those lines. Very good. You guys did so good. All right. Look at that. Oh my gosh, it's coming together. It's so cute. All right. So pull out that lining. You remember that opening we had? Pull out that lining. Now, You could bring both of your seams together on the inside, but I don't want to stress you out too much with that. So take your opening here, and you can see it naturally folds in there, okay? And what we're going to do is we're just going to do just about 1/8 of an inch stitch right across, okay? You don't have to press it or anything, that's your choice, but let's just put it under the machine here and just do a small tiny stitch. Do your reversing and all of that, and we're just going to close up this opening. And once you've reached the end of your opening, just reverse stitch and come out. Cut your threads. All right. Oh my gosh, that looks so adorable. Okay. I want you to take this over to your iron, and we're going to press all the way around the top, okay? And then we're going to do a stitch around the top, and that will be the end of our bag. This looks so cute. We're going to fold it down. All right, we are all nice and pressed, and now we're going to do a top stitch all the way around, just about 1/4 of an inch, okay? If you have a machine that is similar to mine, what makes it a little bit easier to do circular stitching is to take this arm off, okay? Just slides out. Take that arm off. And then what you're going to do is it allows you to just slide your material underneath, okay? And so it doesn't matter where you start. I always like to start, you know, close to a seam. But we're just going to do 1/4 of an inch stitch all the way around. You don't have to reverse because we're just going to do a top stitching here. Now, as you're stitching, you want to, let me see if you can see it. You want to take your hand and be bringing your material forward, like pulling it forward so it can keep going into a circular motion. Otherwise, what ends up happening is it tightens down onto the machine, and you want it to keep moving all the way around. So keep going all the way around. And when you're coming across the seam, it's a little bit thicker, so go ahead and pull from behind, okay? Remember, don't push, but pull from behind. All right, and then when you get back around to where you began, get right on top of your stitching and just stitch a few inches, just about 1 inch, and reverse. All right, take your thread and your scissors and cut that. And if you see any other loose threads around, make sure you cut those, okay? And oh my goodness, oh my goodness. This is so cute. I don't know why I have all that nesting thread there. All right. Now you can take your arm and slide your arm back on. Okay, so it's ready. And now look what you have here. You have a little bucket, and you can turn it down if you want to, which I think will be super cute. Is to turn it down. Look at that. Look how cute that is. Oh my gosh, I love that. And then let's grab our washcloths that we have. Look at these. And you can either, stack them in, make multiple and stack them right there. You can put them up on their side and make multiple. Gosh, that's a great gift. Anybody would love that. Thanks so much for making this with me.